Honda is the only manufacturer yet to announce its 2027 factory lineup. But every other garage is not settled. The satellite Tech 3 team still has both seats unresolved. Honda's second seat is unresolved, and LCR rookie Diogo Moreira expects clarity around Silverstone after 11 races in MotoGP. Asked about his future team, he began with, "I don't know," and said Honda would talk with him during the summer break. "For sure, we will talk during this summer break. So in the end, let's see in Silverstone." So why is a 22-year-old setting the timetable for a factory decision? And what does he already know that Honda has not said out loud? Understand what this seat actually is. 2027 is not a normal season. It is the reset. New engine rules, 850cc, a completely different Pirelli tyre, and the first real chance in years for a beaten manufacturer to climb back through the field without waiting for anyone's permission. Whoever takes that second factory Honda will have a central development role. He will sit next to Fabio Quartararo, a world champion Honda has spent months preparing to receive. But test riders and current racers have already ridden Honda's new prototype. That is not a promotion. That is Honda choosing who it trusts with a blank sheet of paper. And Honda has been strangely quiet for a factory with that much to decide. Start with why Moreira is even in this conversation, because it is not hype. He has scored points in 9 of the first 11 Grands Prix. He put the satellite Honda directly into the second qualifying session in Italy and again in Hungary. He finished 6th at Balaton Park, the best result of his career. And, at the Sachsenring, he was pushed back to 18th on the grid by a penalty and still came out 11th. By the Dutch Grand Prix, he had crashed 6 times. The earlier count of 3 was already out of date. Rookies are not supposed to be the safe pair of hands. Now put that next to Honda's leading rider. Luca Marini is 10th in the championship on the factory bike and sits 31 points ahead. Moreira is 15th, 7 points behind Quartararo. The Yamaha rider reported to be joining Honda. The rookie is Honda's second highest scorer, but he is not level with Quartararo and remains a meaningful distance behind Marini. That is a strong case for promotion, not proof that Honda's decision is already made. And Moreira knows exactly how closely he is being watched. "The bosses have come to see me in the garage quite a few times," he said. "If they're happy, that motivates me, because it means we're doing things the right way." That is not a rider hoping for attention. That is a rider counting visits, reading the room, and drawing the obvious conclusion from who keeps walking through his door. But there is something in his contract that complicates the picture. Moreira did not sign a simple rookie deal. He signed a 3-year agreement structured as 2+1, and the final year only activates if he hits a results marker by a fixed point in 2027. Think about what that means. Before he had turned a single lap in the Premier class, Honda built itself an exit. And now, halfway through year 1, the same factory is weighing whether to hand him the most valuable seat it owns. And, oh yeah, there is one more piece of this, and it is the part that quietly gives the whole thing away. Honda has already moved the crew chiefs. Christian Pupulin, one of the most experienced engineers in the paddock, and currently Luca Marini's crew chief, has been assigned to Quartararo for next season. Nacho Madurga, Quartararo's tyre man at Yamaha, is following him across. And Moreira is being taken off Klaus Nolas and put with Andres Madrid. That was reported 2 days ago. Sit with it. Those moves show Honda preparing Quartararo's side of the garage and reshaping Moreira's support, but they do not prove who gets the second factory seat. Which brings us to the person nobody is talking about. David Alonso, the Colombian Moto2 rider, has a pre-agreement with Honda for that factory seat. He was the plan. He was the name everybody in the paddock had written down. This season, Alonso sits 4th in the intermediate class standings with 1 win and 2 podiums, while Honda continues to compare his case with Moreira's. Honda does not have an empty seat problem. Honda has a promise problem. Then, listen to the man currently sitting in it. Marini, out of contract at the end of the year, deep in talks with Tech 3, still publicly asking his employer for development parts. "We need to keep pushing a little bit more, the engineers and the Japanese, to bring us some more spicy pieces for the future," he said. The future? He wants current season parts that could also provide Honda with data for 2027. So here is where the story turns, and it is not where the headline put it. Everyone read Moreira's line as a rookie applying pressure, a kid brave enough to hand a Japanese factory a deadline. That reading is wrong, and the reason is buried in a negotiation that has nothing to do with him. The MotoGP group and all 5 manufacturers signed the commercial agreement covering 2027 through 2031 on June 19th. Before it was signed, the manufacturers had agreed not to publicise new rider deals. That restriction has ended, and a wave of official announcements has followed. Quartararo to Honda remains unofficial despite his reported 2-season agreement, but the commercial pact is already signed. Other rider moves are being announced, and Autosport says Honda has not finalised Quartararo's teammate. The current silence cannot be attributed to a grid-wide gag order. So Moreira did not set a formal deadline. He said talks would take place during the summer break and that he expected news by Silverstone. The commercial restriction had already ended weeks earlier, and Autosport reported that Honda's final decision had not been made. The visits, results and new crew chief strengthen his case, but they do not confirm a factory promotion, which leaves Honda with a decision still to make. Autosport reports HRC has not finalised whether Moreira or David Alonso will partner Quartararo. If Moreira is promoted, Alonso is expected to debut at LCR alongside Johann Zarco, but that allocation is not confirmed. The commercial agreement is already signed, so it no longer explains Honda's timing. Notice how neatly it works out for them. Alonso is expected to enter Honda's MotoGP program, but whether he debuts with the factory team or satellite LCR squad remains unresolved. Marini is expected to leave when his contract expires, independently of whether Moreira is promoted. He is negotiating with satellite team Tech 3. Neither a completed deal nor Honda's reason for not retaining him has been announced. And Moreira understood all of it before the paddock did. "For sure, we will talk during this summer break. So in the end, let's see in Silverstone," he said, and then added the part everyone skipped. "I think there will be something 100%. He expects some clarity." But he also began with, "I don't know." And Autosport says Honda has not made its final decision. His wording does not prove he already has the factory seat. So Honda's unresolved question is whether to promote Moreira or place David Alonso in the factory team. Moreira expects talks during the summer break, but does he already have stronger private assurances? Honda has not said. Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video appearing on your screen right now.